Hello friends, this is Pranav Shukla welcoming you to my online tutorial. Today we are going for NCERT Standard 9 English, and our today's concern is chapter number 3 from Beehive, main textbook, namely The Little Girl. Friends, we already done with the first part, so let's have some recall from the first part. The Little Girl is a story of a girl namely Kezia, who feels that his father is very much fears him and she is very afraid of her father. But later she realized that he is a good fella. So in the first part we have seen the bond between father and girl. Father is portrayed to be very tyrant, commanding, very loud, and Kezia seems to be very inferior, very meek, timid, nervous against the father. And the rapport between this father and daughter, father's presence in the house, how she is afraid of her father, how grandmother is trying to bridge between the father and especially the parents and daughter Kezia. And as a part of that activity, as a part of this intention, she one day suggested her to make a gift for father's birthday, and she very innocently made a gift making pin cushion. But for that gift she used a speech prepared by the father. And all these paper sheets had been used as a stuffing into the pin cushion, and for that particular gesture or that act she was punished very badly by the father. So how this timid girl felt, what was her condition after that, and how the things had been changed between father and son at the end of the chapter, that we are supposed to learn from the part 2. So let's go for reading the part 2. I'm bringing you the textbook. It took a long time, so pardon for that. So after getting the punishment, she is very dismal, sad, unhappy. Hours later, when grandmother had wrapped her in a shawl and rocked her in the rocking chair, "God mein sula diya," the child clung to her soft body. It is the soft body against the father's hard body and hard heart. So she's feeling very soothed, comforted, warmth in grandmother's lap. And she involuntarily expressed, "What did God make fathers for? पापा तो होने ही नहीं चाहिए, क्यों बनाया उसको भगवान ने?" She sobbed, crying while taking sobs, something like that. "Here is a clean hanky, darling, blow your nose," नाक बह रही थी. "Go to sleep, pet." Pet is a slang used for dear, darling. You'll forget all about it in the morning. She also soothed her, saying that, "I tried to explain to father, but he was too upset to listen tonight. He was looking so upset that he would not listen to me tonight. I'll again explain to him later." So grandmother can do this. But the child never forgot. Next time she saw him, she quickly put both hands behind her back, and a red color flew into her cheeks. She was very much afraid, almost flushed, and her hands had gone behind behind her at the back, just to hide the hands in case if she gets the punishment, just to avoid it. Now the time is there when she compares her father with the others. So the neighboring family was McDonald family. The McDonalds lived next door. They had 5 children. Kezia was maybe only one. Looking through a gap in the fence, she was not allowed. She was so timid that they didn't go to play with the neighbors. The neighbors had 5 children, so children had enough siblings, no need to play with other neighbor children. So she was simply looking through the fence to the children playing with father, and that father was totally different from her father. So her perspective for father had been changed. Now she thought that fathers are of different types, and she is unfortunate enough not to have the father like MacDonald. Looking through a gap in the fence, the little girl saw them playing tag in the evening, pakadam pakdi. The father with the baby Mao on his shoulders. How father is connected and lovably talking and laughing with the children. Two little girls hanging on to his coat pockets ran round and round, and the flower beds, shaking with laughter. Once she saw the boys turn the hose on him, मतलब वो पिताजी को नहला रहे थे, and in spite of being totally wet and drenched with the water, father was laughing and enjoying it rather than scolding the boys for the mischief. So this is very soothing and different and very strange for Kezia. Once she saw the boys turn the hose, the tube for showering or darting water, you could see by the firefighters or in the garden, and he tried to catch them laughing all the time. So then it was decided there were different sorts of father. Fathers are not same all the time. Now the last, the kind of perspective changing incident happens. Very important for the perspective of question answer also. Suddenly one day mother became ill and she and grandmother went to hospital. So Kezia was alone at home with the father. The little girl was left alone in the house with Alice, that was the cook. And that was all right in the daytime. To be with Alice, that was right in the daytime, but in the night time, she desperately needed the mother. This is how McDonald's family, 5 children playing with the father. His father is different from Kezia's father. Kezia is looking at them through the gap in the fence. But while Alice was putting her to bed, she grew suddenly afraid. And she said, "What will I do if I have a nightmare?" Nightmare means a very frightening dream. She asked, and she admitted, "I often have nightmares, and then Granny takes me into her bed. I can't stay in the dark. It all gets very whispery. It gives you haunted, frightening feeling. Whispery means speaking softly in a very low voice, giving the hint that something unwanted or ghastly or haunting is there in the house." So she was very afraid of that. Very frightening whispery. "You just go to sleep, child." Alice was an employee and she was to go to home. So anyway, she put her to bed, consoled her casually, and then went away, pulling off her socks. "And don't you scream and wake your poor pa." Pa was called as what? Poor pa. Father was called as poor father. So why he was called as poor pa? So it is thought that father works hard throughout the day and he needs a sound sleep, so he should not be disturbed. So being very tired of working is called as poor pa. But the same old nightmare came. She used to see the same nightmare when she was very afraid. What was the nightmare? A butcher, the one who cuts animal and fetches meat out of it and sell it, with a knife and a rope, who came nearer and nearer, smiling that dreadful smile. Ha 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 ha. That demon-like smile, very cunning and cruel one. While she could not move, could only stand still, she was very nervous and afraid, crying out, "Grandma, grandma." She walked shivering to see, and she woke up. And the moment she woke up, she could see not grandmother, but father beside her bed, candle in his hand. Just imagine that the first sight with candle, somebody in the night time, can make you frightened. But here the father was there, and he asked, "What's the matter?" So she explained very fearfully, "Oh, butcher, a knife, I want Granny." He blew out the candle, bent down, and caught up the child in his arms. उसको उठा लिया अपनी गोद में, अपने हाथों में, and carrying her along the passage to the big bedroom. A newspaper was on his bed. Malab was reading newspaper while Kezia was sleeping, and seeing that nightmare, it was heard by father while reading the newspaper. So immediately came down to her room. He put away the paper, then carefully, mind well, not angrily, not frustratingly, tucked up अपनी आगोश में, covered up nicely in bed. The child gave her enough feeling of protection. He lay down beside her, सो गए साथ में, बाजू में. Half asleep, he was very tired and was about to sleep. Still with the butcher's smile all about her, it seemed. She crept close to him. She was still under the effect of the dream, so went a bit closer, slightly, to father, snuggled her head. Another word comes, friends. Moved into a warm, comfortable position close to another person, under his arm, held tightly to his shirt. And when father was there to protect her, very close to her, giant father, giant enough even for the butcher, then the dark did not matter for her, and she lay still, calm, composed, and totally was not afraid. And father, just to give her more warmth, he says, "Here, rub your feet against my legs and get them warm," said father. Tired out, father was almost tired out. He slept before the little girl. And a funny feeling came over her. Having seen the father was trying to make the child sleep, almost had gone for sleeping before the child had gone to sleep. Girls have already got the mother's instinct inside them. And having seen the tired father had gone to sleep before she had gone, she found it very funny, and smile just spread over her face. And she literally felt, forgetting all the grudges and fear that was in heart for father, she felt sympathetic about father. Poor father, not so big. इतने भी बड़े नहीं है. After all, and with no one to look after him. और बेचारे है, मेरा ख्याल रखने वाला तो बहुत है. मामी है, ग्रैंडमा है, और फादर भी है अभी, लेकिन फादर का ख्याल कौन रखता है? So she is very pitiable, poor. So girl felt sympathy for the father. Then she realized there was no one to look after him. He was harder than grandmother, but it was a nice hardness. Well, father's hardness is now seems to be very protective. And every day he had to work. Now she realized, and was too tired to be Mr. McDonald. Well, he had to work much more than Mr. McDonald because they're different genre of work. And being tired, he might not be able to spend time with him. So he should be excused. That is realized by the girl. And she realized the mistake too. She had torn up all his beautiful writing. And the moment she recalled that incident, she stirred, she stuttered, she trembled and sighed, took a deep breath in dissatisfaction, in regret. और मैंने भी फाड़ दिया था उनके पेपर्स वगैरह, something like that. So when she sighed and she stirred, again father thought that she might have seen that nightmare. So being very concerned, he asked, "What's the matter? Another dream?" So the girl said, "Oh, no, not another dream. My head is on your heart." Now she says why she stirred, trembled, and she says that my head is on your heart and I can hear it going. What a big heart you've got. This is fun, friends. Earlier the girl felt father was heartless, but now being very much close to father, she felt the warmth and love of father. So she realized father can also have the heart, and it was assured when she heard it going, it was beating. So I can hear it going. It is got two meaning. Heart is as a biological part of the body beating, and she's ensured that father has got heart and it is beating. So father is not a heartless person. And then she said that what a big heart you got. So it is again father being big, the heart must be big. That is a surfacical idea. But big heart, the true meaning is lovable heart, heart full of sentiments and feeling and love for Kezia. And there is now realized by Kezia. So she feels father has got a big heart, loving heart. And now she calls father dear. Father dear for the first time. And all the misunderstandings, all the grudge, all the bitter feeling for father, all the fear, all the hatred, everything is gone. And now that bridge had been totally eradicated, and they have become very much close to each other. So, friends, this one incident actually changed the life of Kezia, and so would be the entire family, and saved Kezia from hating and cultivating grudge and revengeful feeling against the parents, especially the father. So I hope if you have such misunderstandings and grudge for your parents, it would go away with such incidents. Amen. And here we end our chapter. I'll share the question answers with you. So here is the end of this chapter 3, the little girl. I hope you understood and enjoyed it. Thank you very much. We'll soon meet for the next chapter.